everyone, I'm Evelyn. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having an amazing day. So, I really wanted this up yesterday. I said I would in the video Friday, but unfortunately, I've been away over the weekend with my family to this I want to call it a summer house, but it wasn't really a summer house, but like what is even a summer house? So, um, and when I talked to my mom about when we'd be back, I apparently misunderstood what she said. So I thought she said that we'd be home around 4 because usually when we go, we have to leave early Tuesday, so we'll be home like around that time actually. And I just completely misunderstood what she said because it turned out that we weren't leaving until like a little bit past 4. So I was home very late yesterday and just completely tired from, like I said I would be, from being with my family. So I figured it was okay if I just pushed it for today. So we're building though, this like Scandinavian Nordic inspired house, and I really love how this house turned out, so I hope you guys will like it too. It's built in Windenburg. I moved it to, it's first on a 30 by 20, but then I moved it to a 40 by 30 just because I wanted a little bit more space around the house to have fun with landscaping and stuff. And essentially, at the end, it ended up being like this. There's the main house, and then they have this like bit of a fancier greenhouse than I would usually do. And then there's also this little, there's a pond as well, and a little circle, or like, I don't know what to call it. Like they've dug out a hole in the ground where they have a fire pit. I don't know what to call that, but that's what I'm gonna go with. So yeah, I had a lot of fun just experimenting with a few things here and there with the house, just to add some shape to it, because these box houses with A-framed roofing can quickly turn into, like, they can very quickly look very boring, so I just wanted to add a little bit to it here and there. So that's, yeah, we're just having a lot of fun with it. I really had so much fun with this house. The floor plan looks a little bit funny because of the shape of the house. It's, again, one of those where you kind of experiment a little bit with the house shape. The interior always turns out looking a little bit funky. But not that I think the interior is fine this time. It's just that it looks funny from above because it's very Sims-like. It's not very realistic. Let's put it like that, because we're adding like bits and bobs here and there to the shape of the house. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. I hope you guys will like it. The interior though, just a quick disclaimer, is very not colorful. It's very like black and gray actually, not so much white this time around, and I don't know, when it comes to color schemes, I'm often very much stuck in my head, like, how do you say this? I think I put too much thought into, or now that's not how to phrase this. I think about what you guys like a little bit more than what I personally like, and something like a completely black and gray interior might not appeal to everyone because I could imagine some people saying that it's very soulless, that it's very cold and dark and gray and just reminds them of like a storm or something, if you get what I mean. I think this sort of interior is quite cool. I like having interiors that just are a little bit different from each other, so they don't all have to have this like beige white interior or beige white color scheme. Also, because like a lot of the interiors that I do these days are more like, more like Scandinavian interior, and so they're not necessarily the most colorful interiors, but like you still got to play around with the color schemes and make some differences, variations in the color scheme without actually adding color. And like, how do you do that? You know, so because normally we could go from like red and yellow to like blue and yellow or something. It's a whole different feel to it. But am I even making sense to any of you right now? I feel like I might not be, but I'm gonna try to make my point anyway. And so instead of making this like typical very light colored Scandinavian interior that's like very white and beige or like gray beige, like this super basic Scandinavian interior, I wanted to just have some fun doing a Scandinavian Nordic looking interior but still in a different color scheme. So I ended up going very dark, and I feel like it suits the house as you see it from the outside. It's very lush as well, like a lot of the plants really stand out, and like I've used a lot of plants for the interior because it's the only thing really adding color because plants are green. So it just adds more life to the interior. I think it works very well with this very dark gray sort of color scheme. I think it looks very nice in the end, but it's definitely not everyone's cup of tea. So, but I wanted to have some fun with it. I wanted to do something a little bit less light and still Scandinavian, so it fits with the house and something that I'm comfortable with because I'm still in like my comfort zone these days. I don't know, I'm just feeling very inspired to build a lot of these kind of houses that they feel like home to me, so yeah. That's what we're doing a lot these days, but hopefully it's understandable. I'm still like getting back into the swing of things, so I just want to build stuff that I know I'm comfortable with and where I won't feel like I'm experimenting too much or like I'm too much out of my comfort zone and I start second guessing what I'm doing. I just want to do stuff or build stuff that I know is supposed to look a certain way, if that makes sense. And if anything, like maybe you won't find a house like this close to me, but it does have certain, because like none of the Sims houses that I really like, none of them really are super realistic. I feel like oftentimes super realistic houses in The Sims don't actually look good. I can't make them look good. I'm sure other creators can, but I feel like we very often make adjustments to them because a lot of houses in real life just are very boxy and very squared, and it very quickly ends up looking bland in The Sims. So you either gotta build these like mansions or mega mansions or mech mansions and maybe size them down sometimes as well, but like build these, if you rebuild houses that you find on Pinterest, for example, you have to make a lot of adjustments to them for them to actually look good in The Sims because otherwise they just end up looking like boxes. And so I wouldn't say that you would necessarily find a house like this in Denmark, or in any of the other Scandinavian or Nordic countries, but it does have the typical flair. Does that make sense? Like, it does have the typical vibe, I suppose is what I usually call it. So I can't remember how I started talking about that, but anyway, I've been sitting here for like, when I finished dinner, right? So that's about like 6:30 or something. I was done with dinner, and then I've been editing through another video for my booktube channel, and so I was doing a little bit of that because I was editing while I was having dinner. I do that quite often. Don't ask. I just sit here and listen because I have to sit here and just like listen to myself talk for I don't know how long when I edit those videos because I like to make sure that I don't accidentally leave in like me repeating things or something like that. So as much as I hate listening to myself just sit here and talk, I do it anyway. Only with those videos, not with the voiceovers here. But anyway, so I was listening to that a little bit after finishing dinner, and then I sat down and was like, okay, it's time to do my voiceover for the video so I can have it up at a decent time so it's not like 9 before the video goes live. Or later, maybe, if I'm having technical difficulties, like I do these days, because my computer for some reason is acting up and giving me a lot of blue screens. Especially when I, render videos. But anyway, so I was sitting down, like, getting ready to do my voiceover, and my upstairs neighbor, I tweeted about it as well, because I literally have just been sitting here for like 30-40 minutes waiting. She started a song, and then she just set it on repeat. And then it kept going for like 35-36 minutes total. And I don't know, like I understand wanting to listen to the same song on repeat. I understand it being like a comfort thing to some people. But usually if I do it, I will be wearing my headphones because I know that it's super annoying to my neighbors. That I'm just like listening to the same song, especially just like generally listening to loud music. I will put on my headphones because it's so disruptive to other neighbors, and also because I listen to a lot of like game music and like TV film music, and it's very classic, and they're probably just gonna, even though it's beautiful and well made and all of that, I live among young people, and I'm pretty sure that some of them are like, why is there an old woman living next to me listening to classic music? And that's fine. I am old. It's okay. But anyway, so I don't know. She's just listening to the same song on repeat for like 35, 36 minutes. I can't figure out what song it was. I was trying for the last like 20 minutes of it to find out what it was because I thought at first it sounded like Adele because it sounded like very generic pop, and she's been sounding very generic pop as of like the last, at least like the last album, has the 30, I think it's called, very generic. Like, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry to Adele fans. I used to be one. It's just, it sounds different these days. It does. And then I was like, because it wasn't one of her songs. I went on Spotify to go through some of the newer songs to see if I could recognize it very quickly. Because it like started up right away with some piano and someone singing. But then I started listening to it again upstairs. And I was like, maybe it's a dude. Like, I can't tell anymore. I never found the song, and that was gonna bother me. Like, I'm very curious if it's like, is it a sad song? Is it because I'm so Snoopy right now? I realize that, but like, is she okay? Like, is everything okay upstairs? At some point though, I did hear her starting to sing, and so I'm convinced that, because it didn't sound like she was crying at the same time, so I think she's okay. I think she's just really enjoying the song. I don't really know, but it was a long time, so I had to sit here and wait because my microphone would have picked it up. Maybe I should have recorded it. Not her singing, but like the song, so I could figure out what it is, because now I'm curious. It's gonna bug me so much, but also I don't want to be that Snoopy neighbor, but also I definitely am that Snoopy neighbor. That's what happens when you live in apartment buildings. You just turn into this like Snoopy snooper. It's fine. But I think personally my problem also is that I'm just sitting, like I was just sitting here waiting because I couldn't really get started on anything else because I have to do this voiceover as soon as she finishes listening to the song so loudly. I have to get started with my voiceover right away. And so I have to just sit here and wait. That makes me even more curious because I literally cannot sit and just do nothing. I've never been good at that. I can't. I have to do something. So I just, yes, it's been a whole thing. Now it's turned into a whole thing. It just is a whole thing. Where did the window go? I hope I put that back. Oh, thank you. I did. I got a little bit worried for a second if I was just gonna leave it there. No, we did not. So, yes, I feel like you guys learn more and more about me every time I do a voiceover, so now you know that I'm a snooper as well. I would never ask her about it. I'm probably gonna like forget about it in like an hour or something, to be fair, but like I'm just a very naturally curious person to both my strength, but it's also a weakness of mine, if you will. Like, it can be both a strength and a weakness, you know? Because curiosity makes you more like you want to learn things a lot. You want to like experience different hobbies and stuff. You get what I mean? Like you want to travel a lot, but at the same time, it also makes you want to know what songs your upstairs neighbors are listening to. It's probably also because I never go outside. It's probably one of the reasons as well, right? And now you know that about me too. Except I was away the entire weekend, so that's not entirely true, is it? It might also have been like a hype song of hers. Starting over. These voiceovers should actually be named like Diaries of an Apartment Resident or something, because I feel like whenever I do my voiceovers, I always end up talking about what's happening around me with the neighbors. Except I don't tell you everything, because it cannot go, like, no. Yeah, no, I don't tell you everything, okay? But I tell you a lot, though, with my, like, regarding my neighbors. I will say, though, suddenly I heard footsteps and a door slam after the music stopped, so I think she left. And I don't know, maybe it was like a hype song of hers. I don't even know if it's a girl. No, it's a girl living upstairs. It sounded like a girl when she was singing. At least I know that now. It's fine. I'm not gonna care about it in like 20 minutes. I'm not gonna care anymore. But for right now, I'm finding it pretty entertaining. Yes. Thing is as well, like, these are not, like, how do you explain this? So, me personally, I like to sing in my kitchen, which I'm sure that both my upstairs neighbors can hear, and also my neighbors on that side of the apartment, like my neighbors to the right can probably hear me sing in the kitchen. So they probably have thoughts about me as well. It's very normal when you live in apartments. Also, I think when it comes to like Danish people, maybe we tend to like not even look at each other in public. It's a whole thing. We very much value private space and like not so much privacy because people are very snoopy. I think I've talked about that as well while living here in the apartment, because I live on the ground floor, so I hope I'm not saying too much so like anybody can find me, but I feel like maybe if you wanted to find me you probably could anyway, so it's whatever. At this point it's whatever. But I live on the ground floor, right? And so I have an open window to a yard, and people often walk by my window and everyone stares through. I've said this before, but like everyone when walking through stares through the window. And I'm like, what is happening here? Like, is this normal? So I think that wild Danes are very much like, yeah, don't get close to me in public. Like, don't even look at me. Don't even look at me in public. You cannot look at me at all. We're very much like, as well, if you pass people on the street, there's this like unwritten rule. You walk in the same lanes as you drive. So like you walk on the right side, right? That's just how it is. Even if there's two people on the sidewalk, you'll walk on the right and they'll walk on their right. It's just like a thing. We respect distance from each other, and like you don't look at people. But I think Danes are very curious about, I don't think they value privacy that way. I will add that I personally don't look through people's windows, not on purpose anyway, but if there's like movement and if it's dark outside, there's light in one of the apartments and there's sudden movement, my eyes automatically will focus on the movement. I think that's very natural. And if you're walking and there's like a window in front of you and there's movement in the window as well, you can't help because it's just like a natural eye movement, if you will. But like generally I do not look through people's, I don't snoop. Even if they live on the ground floor, I will not snoop. But like I also get it. Okay, I also get it. But anyway, hopefully no one snoops in this house though. I realized that I went off on a tangent, but I had something to share because I'm still very curious why they were listening to the same song for like 36 minutes. I'm confused. It's fine. Maybe they were just hyping themselves up or something because they had to go out or something on a Monday. I'm old. I don't know if young people go out on Mondays these days. It's fine if you do. I support you in all your endeavors. It's okay. So this is the greenhouse that I was talking about, by the way. I didn't really want to do like the usual little 8 square greenhouse or 9 squares, 12 maybe, that I usually do. I wanted to do something else with it. So I made an open greenhouse, and it has both a front patio and a back patio. The back patio is for plant pots, not flower boxes. I suppose you could turn them into flower boxes if you want to, but they're just plant pots. And so, because I figured they would want like several indoors that they could use, but also a couple outside. So there is one bigger one that you can use for a fruit tree, but the others are just like smaller ones that you can use for whatever you want. I just want some variety, okay? And I also needed a little bit of a pathway leading to this broken bridge. It's not a bridge, but I forgot what it's called right now. That is in the pond. Because I searched for that item. Did I place it down already? Yeah, you can kind of see it on the left side right here. Did I go back now and do the interior on the second floor? I think maybe I got tired of decorating or something and just need to do something else on the build. So I started working on the greenhouse a little bit, but we're doing the interior again. But I wanted to do just a little bit with like this bridge thing. It's not a bridge. And so I looked forward for I don't know how long, because like I don't think I maybe used that item like once or twice before, and so I couldn't remember where it was for the life of me. And so we have like a lot of live edit items by now, like a whole lot. There's so many items in the live edit catalog, and it's getting hard to remember where everything is, also because you can't search for them. And now as well I have better build by, so everything is sorted into categories, and I'm like, some of it is not super intuitive and like when it comes to what category it's in. And like the wall that I used outside that's sort of framing up the staircase leading to, or the staircase made out of platforms leading up to the front door of the house, that's actually found under flower boxes. And, you know, so some of it is not necessarily, like, you kind of have to start remembering where you can find them in different categories, and it's not super intuitive some of the time. I love Better Built By, I just want to say. It's definitely just a question of me having to remember where everything is, but because I do have to remember it all over again, some of the things are a little bit difficult to find, so I did take my time with that one. But I just wanted to do something a little bit different with the pond, and I really wanted there to be a pond, because I've been doing that a little bit lately and I like it, so I had to add another one to this one. Oh, I forgot to say, by the way, but this house is actually for 2 parents and a teen. I think this is a teen. They only have 1 bathroom, which is on the ground floor, but that's because I could not fit in another one. This upstairs area is very small, and there was just, or is there another bathroom? No, there's 2. Sorry, I thought about another house. The upstairs area is still very small though in this one. I just thought of another house because I had to build one recently with only 1 bathroom, even though there's bedrooms on the 2nd floor. I can imagine that getting very annoying if you're one of those people who have to get up in the middle of the night to pee. Yeah, but it's The Sims, okay? Have your Sims pee before they go to bed. It's not my problem. The very cool thing about The Sims, right? Like Sims as people, is that they can do everything on command. Like you can have them sleep on command. How? I mean not how, because I know how you do it, but like imagine if you could do that in real life. That would be so awesome. I would love to be able to just sleep on command, but some of us are not that lucky. You can also make them pee on command. So have your Sims pee before they go to bed, and they're all good in that house. Not in this one. This one's fine because there's a bathroom just outside. So it's not actually relevant to this house. I just mix up houses in my head when I've built too many of them in a row. It's just a thing. It's fine. I'm actually tempted to do more apartment buildings because I think the apartment building that I did last week, I think I want that up before the month is over, so you'll probably get like a house tomorrow as well, and then another one like Thursday or something. I'm actually gonna go see Dune Part 2 on Thursday, which I'm super excited for. I think it just came out, right? Or it comes out like tomorrow or something. So, or maybe it's Wednesday. It's not really important, but I was one of those people, because I do know that a lot of people said that they felt like it was a little bit too long, like the first one. I was one of those people who very much, like, I enjoy pretty movies, like very beautiful movies, and I thought it was so beautiful. So like a lot of the imagery and scenery is very, or not scenery, because I suppose a lot of it is just like, a lot of it is also CGI, right? I don't know, it's just very like well made, and I enjoy that when it comes to movies quite a lot. So yeah, I enjoyed it like a whole lot. And even though it's like the sequel is 2 hours and 46 minutes, that's a lot. We're gonna be sitting there for a long time. I'm looking forward to it very much. So I still haven't read the book. I hate watching the movie before reading the book, but like the book is a classic sci-fi. I don't read classics and I don't really read sci-fi, so it feels like it would be a very heavy read to me, and I'm just not there yet. I'll get there at some point. I do own it. I will read it at some point. I just can't right now. I just cannot right now. So, but yeah, I think the apartment building is going up on Thursday, possibly. So we'll see. I also have plans to do a CC overview this week, because my friend Sam released a CC kit, or not a CC kit, a CC set, and so I kind of want to do an overview of that. I want to probably get back into swing of things, you know, the swing of things, not swing of things. And so we'll see about that. So yeah, but I'm very excited for everything. If you want anything, like want to see anything specific from me in terms of buildings, let me know. And if you'd like to see another apartment, I say another, but like I haven't actually posted the first one. If you'd like to see apartment buildings from me, so not apartments, but apartment buildings, let me know as well. I don't know how many have been built already since the for rent update came out, so that, or when we got like the landlord system and everything. I don't know how many have been built since then, because I don't really keep track of what other builders do, to be honest. So I don't know if there's like a lack of them or something, but if there is, let me know and I'll definitely look into it. The first one or the one that I'm sharing is definitely very Scandinavian though. And I won't apologize for it, so too bad. But also just like very like contemporary, I want to say as well. I suppose you could find it in other places than just Scandinavia. It's just, it feels like a lot of the buildings that I've been inspired by lately have just been this vibe. So that one's a little bit also like that, but that's also because it's actually inspired by a building in my city. So yeah, I think I mentioned that in the last voiceover too, because I did that voiceover right after I'd finished building it. Yeah, it's a whole thing. I repeat myself a lot here on the channel. It's just a thing as well. So as for the rest of the house though, we are just adding a lot of like foliage because I wanted it to look very natural, so not necessarily like overdo everything. I will say though, I didn't look at exactly what plants they were using for the surroundings. I feel like there's a bit of a lack of maybe flowers. I can't on this island in Windenburg. I don't know. I can't exactly place there being any flowers anywhere. Now that I think about it, I think it's mostly just like green foliage, not so much anything with flowers on it. And I just I can't do foliage. I can't do landscaping without there being like a pop of something. In this case, it's white because that's the combination I often go with, like very dark green and then white. But there has to be a pop of something. I can't just make everything green. You get what I mean? So we add a little bit of extra to it. I think that's just fine though, other than the white flowers. But yeah, and also just try to tone it down a little bit so like to not overdo it and stuff. And other than that, just adding some greenery to, or some grass, I should say, to the grass floors as well to make it look a little bit more like have some texture to it. But other than that, yeah, I think we're about done. So if you guys like this house, you can download it off the gallery. My ID is AvelineYT, and you can also find it under the hashtag Aveline or AvelineYT. And as always, the trade files can be found over my Patreon, which will be linked to in the description box down below, where you can also find a link to my booktube channel if you're curious about it. So feel free to go check it out. I will also say that I am now officially an affiliate with EA, which is so cool. So my code is Aveline. I don't really know how to announce that, so I'm just gonna mention it for a bit, just so you know. Also because it makes me so excited. I've been an EA creator for a while, but never an affiliate, which is completely new. So I don't know, I think it's kind of cool. But yeah, other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe and all that good stuff if you did, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.
Tea for green, it's like a love scene with waves of flirting. Seasons change us. Maybe it's just me and mine, where thunder's had its way. Kindness is portrayed as blind and glitter to the rays. Oh, no need to beg pardon. No need to beg pardon. Strong piano playing, wind chimes swaying. I'm longing for summer night.